Moments ago, President Biden announced the federal government would cover 100% of the disaster expenses for 180 days. This will pay for everything from salaries for first responders to cleanup to the debris removal. This has to be good news for you.
Well, it's good news from the standpoint of the limited resources we already have that are going to be reimbursed. But, you know, for my constituents, that just means that, you know, that we're able to fight the fire, but it's not going to replace the structures that they've lost their homes. So I do appreciate it. But at the end of the day, we've got a lot of work to do. I'm headed out there in about 5 minutes to go back out to the Rose Bowl and meet with the command post to find out what's going on, because we're at 0% containment, and I heard you say that they're expecting the winds to come up again. I'm just hoping we can get the fixed wing and the aerial fight very aggressive so that we can at least try to slow this down.
Yeah, we're going to be speaking to a meteorologist shortly who covers the LA County area, but they are forecasting the winds to pick up tonight through Friday evening. If that happens, will you have to expand evacuations?
You know, more than likely, yes, although right now the fire is burning into the national forest. It's threatening Mount Wilson. So it depends on where the wind shifts to. This last time around, it was going east, west, north, south. I mean, it was all over the place, which is why in Altadena and even the Palisades, you're seeing, you know, 4 houses on one block, and then, you know, 6 blocks over, the entire block is gone. The embers were traveling literally miles, and that even stretched our resources more because we didn't have any air fight going on.
How concerned are you about the flames getting close to Mount Wilson? Isn't that where all the emergency radio frequency towers are? That's how you know, get 911 calls, communicate?
100%. 100%. That's why I brought it up. I know that we've got resources up there, and this is not the first time Mount Wilson's been under, you know, threat, but it is one of the key communication sources for not only LA County, but I think it spreads out to other counties as well.
I cannot even imagine what would happen if that system were to succumb to the fire as well. The LA County Sheriff said it looked like a bomb had gone off in some of these neighborhoods. You're now warning people not to loot because apparently there's been 20 arrests so far for looting.
Yeah, thank God we've got a DA that actually is willing to prosecute criminals. And in this case, these are predators, and I have to tell you that I'm going to make sure that those 20 that were arrested are going to get their due process, but I'm going to make sure that our DA gets all the resources to prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law. There is no excuse for this. I have friends who evacuated who are calling me saying, I can't get back up there, and I'm hearing that there's looting going on. What's going on? If we're going to tell people to evacuate and they're going to honor that ask, that request, then we need to make sure that we are protecting their property. And the sheriff's all in, I'm all in, and thank God we've got a district attorney that recognizes that you need to prosecute people that break the law.
Yeah, Nathan Hochman, just recently elected. I want to ask you about the fire hydrants in some areas running dry, leaving fire crews unable to save homes sometimes. Why is that happening?
Yeah, I know that in the Palisades that was an issue, and I'm not an engineer, so I can't really articulate and explain it to you, but I do know the difference between Altadena and Palisades is that they have tanks that are filled up, and evidently they were drawing water so quickly that it impacted the water pressure, and so they were not able to use the hydrants. In Altadena, the water pressure is an issue, but we have water. Our problem is that this is like whack-a-mole, where we have to have the fire personnel triage where they're going, and that's why you see a lot of people using their garden hoses to try to water it down.
Yeah.
But we haven't had that impact. I'm not saying it has not happened, because clearly we're taxing the entire infrastructure system. But, you know, in my district, just over the last couple of years, we have been replacing the water infrastructure along New York Drive, which is one of the main thoroughfares that's been impacted. So I know that we have been investing in that. But obviously, you know, lessons learned after this fire, I can guarantee you this, there's going to be a lot of discussion about what we need to do to invest in our infrastructure, something that during budget crisis always gets deferred. But I'm here to tell you that you cannot defer things like this, because you never know when something like this could happen.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.